People, meet a champion, Jim Crawshaw, well known on Yorkshire moors as the greatest player of Knur and Spell. Knur and Spell is a favourite game in the north of England, and here's a crowd on its way to a match. The balls are made of clay and called potties. The stick is nearly 4 feet long. It's chalked like a billiards cue and held like a golf club. Here's Jim Crawshaw's grip. Then he adjusts the spring of the spell, which throws the ball in the air before it is hit into the distance with mighty force. All ready, and there it goes. Here, over 300 yards away, these watchers wait for the ball. A splendid shot. Once more, first a practice stroke, and a terrific swipe, and a true hit too, which again sends the potty 300 yards, or, as they say in this game, 15 score. This chain is then used to measure the distance of the shot. The player's sticks, called pummels, are made of ash, and each man has his own spell, which he adjusts to suit himself. Matches such as these are played for hundreds of pounds a side, and betting on a game is sometimes over £10,000, and do the crowd get a kick out of it. See them go wild with enthusiasm. Maybe this has something to do with it. Now for a few slow-motion shots, showing you the accuracy with which Jim hits the potty. Is there anybody who can beat him at this game? Well, here's Jim Crawshaw's challenge to the world. He'll play anyone at Knur and Spell for £200 a side. Send your challenges to me, Charles Eade, Sunday Express. OK, Jim?
Nearly every weekend, locals go out laking Knur and Spell. Up here, we call it tipping. It's a sort of poor man's golf. But they wouldn't call it poor if they saw brass swapping hands when matches hour. Folk have been tipping for over 100 year, and today some young'uns are as keen as mustard. It's somewhat like golf without any oils to knock ball into. The belts a right hard little pot ball called a Knur as far as they can with a long stick, somewhat like a golf club, with the head straightened out instead of being bent over. Tipper who hits it farthest is winner. But let's go back to the start. First of all, they draw for places, like they do in a fishing match. He's marking out where each tipper's banner stand. Then they fix this article up, one for each tipper. Some on them have a spirit level on crosspiece. And on the end of crosspiece, a lump of bandings down with a loop at end to put Knur in. Joe's putting his best clogs on for the job. If there's a wind blowing, they stop Knur for swinging about with a piece of thin weft fastened to the bottom of the loop and t'other end held down with a stone. Every tipper marks out where he's bound to stand when he's tipping. He does this with a piece of band pegged out in a triangle. Right foot hardly ever moves. That peg goes at back of his heel, and later on they'll see he puts 2 more pegs in at side, so he can always put that foot at same place every time he strikes. He's bashing ground to make it flat. So that he's putting them other 2 pegs in now. Some on 'em chuck a few little stones down to stop the sense through slipping when the belt ain't near. If it's wet, that liable to slip, 'cause left foot steps forward when that's striking. He's built a bag of cinders for the job. When there's drawn the Knur, they can always tell which is thine, 'cause every Knur has a different number on it. If it's a decent match, there's sure to be a bookie there laying odds on every tipper. When the match is on, 6 on 'em take it turns to strike. First one goes when this whistle blows. Then everybody watches where the Knur's going. And a couple on 'em, who all stand up back at striker, rush out when he's belted Knur and shout at seekers at bottom of hill, telling them where it's going. It's down bit gate oil, or it's over bit bog oil. That's a right sloppy corner at field. Then everybody down there looks about till they find Knur. And when they fun it, they mark spot with tipper's number. He's keeping count of how many turns they've all had. Best shots are when they hits Knur fair and square in the middle at spell eared. After a shot or two, some on 'em fix a new eard on to spell. They'll light a fire and whip new eard on with thin band and cobbler's wax. He's rubbing face with resin to stop Knur from slipping to one side when he hits it. That's Betty. She was collecting for the club through folk who've been watching the match. Aye, and through anybody else and all, if you can cop 'em. In a rate match like this, every tipper has 10 turns. Some on 'em who've had a bad shot or two mark out another striking spot. There's Betty there counting up. And when it's all over, referee gets a long chain and measures out who's belted longest shot. That fella at far end with white flag stands by each Knur so that ref measures in a straight line. They measure last yard or two with a tape measure. Local bookie always makes a bit of wage out of this job for his son. And when they've all been paid out, everybody goes round to the pub to have a pint or two and talk it all over. They say it's sports day in art, but I'll bet thee they'll be tipping Erie Cowlin, aye, in another 100 years.